All right.
I don't know how it keeps getting that picture.
All right, guys, for those of you just joining here, I know I told some of you already, this is Adam, the commander talking. We're going to get started here in about 5 minutes or 5 or 4 minutes. Like I was explaining to the other people, because we're going to have so many people logging in with background noises and everything like that. I don't want people talking over people and, making it hard for people to hear. So we're going to mute everybody's mic at the outset, and there will be a mechanism for you to be able to raise your hand if you have something you want to say or something like that, and you'll be recognized. I'll explain that more when the meeting starts. I'll work through that process. So just a couple more minutes here. Get comfortable. Get something to drink if you need it, and we'll get started in a little bit here.
9 people. Mhm.
1100. No. Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Jerry Cooper.
No.
Hello, is it possible to get video on my screen?
If I don't know how you're logged in, if you're on a smartphone or an iPad, if you're just seeing like a phone icon in front of you, if you just kind of, I can't remember what the damn technical term is, but slide over to the right, you'll start seeing other people and everything like that. I personally do not have video on, so you're going to see a blank screen when I'm talking. But I know I can see a lot of the guys here have their cameras on, so we're seeing a lot of faces here.
Right, I see just my face in the corner, but I don't see anybody else. Just a telephone symbol in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, so if you try to like slide, I mean, I'll try to explain it to you. If you slide to the left, on the screen or whatever, you kind of, like, again, slide's the only technical term I know for it. You might start to see other faces. Does that work?
Yeah.
All right, Cool. There you go, man.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, yes, that's pretty cool. I keep sliding. I can see all kinds of participants, each in blocks of 4. I've never used this before, so this is a first for me. It looks pretty cool the way it's working, though.
It can be pretty slick if used right. So. Hey, Philip, I can see you trying to talk, man, but no one can hear you. I'm just letting you know. All right, so my phone says 1900, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks for everybody for joining us here today on Zoom. I know it's a little different for a lot of us. This is how we had our meeting last month, and hopefully this is the last time we have a meeting on Zoom. Hopefully, again, fingers crossed with all the COVID stuff, maybe we can have an in-person meeting next month. I just wanted to give it another month of Zoom just because, well, frankly, the demographic of our post kind of in that kind of danger zone. So I didn't want to put anybody at undue risk before we know it's safe. So like I was saying, my name's Adam. I'm the commander of Post 435. For those of you who don't know me, I was explaining before, because we have so many people on the call, and in an effort to make sure nobody's talking over anybody else and to make sure there's no background noises seeping in, I got Jake, who's our tech guy, who's helping us with this. He's going to mute everybody at first so we can have a nice quiet talk here at the beginning here. So couple housekeeping things to speak, right? If you got something you want to say, if you want to make a motion, what have you, there on your keypad on your phone here, however you're dialing in, if you do star nine, that will allow you to raise your hand, and Jake will see that. And when Jake sees that, he'll go ahead and he'll read off the last 4 digits of your phone number, and that'll let you know that you're okay to speak, and he'll unmute your mic and you can have your turn to speak there. If you're dialed in on, say, like an iPad or a smartphone, in the lower right-hand corner of your screen where it says stuff like, mute your phone, start video, share participants, there's a thing called More. If you click on More, you have the ability there to raise your hand. It functions the same way. Jake will see that. Jake will say, okay, Dale or Dave or John, whoever, whatever name you logged in with, he'll go ahead and let you know, hey, your mic's unmuted. You can go ahead and speak that way. When that time comes, I ask that you just identify yourself to say, hey, my name's Bob Smith, and here's my question or here's my motion or whatever. Similar to that, we're also going to try to have some voting going on tonight. We've got a few things we want to work through. Voting is going to work the same way as raising your hand. In order to make sure, someone's not waiting with their hand raised or something like that, before any vote is taken, I'm going to have Jake, he's going to clear out all the hands raised. He's going to go ahead and just reset everything. And then we're going to vote the same way. So when I tell you, hey, if you want to vote to support the motion, go ahead and do that star 9 or go to that More on the bottom part of your screen and go raise hand. We'll tally votes that way. Jake will go ahead and clear them out again. Then he'll say, and then we'll go, if you're opposed to what's ever happening, if you're opposed to the motion, same thing, hit star 9 or go raise your hand again. We'll tally those votes. We'll do screen captures. And then we'll go ahead and we can go back into the whole raising your hand to speak and everything like that. So just be aware that if you had your hand raised prior to a vote to speak, just know that after the vote is complete, you're going to have to raise your hand again because it's going to be cleared out. Post information. So the post continues to push out information on social media, namely Facebook, as well as an email distribution list that we have. We're trying to figure out other ways to make sure as many people are contacted with post information as possible. We're currently working with a national database we got from National. It's a digital database. We're kind of working off that. So if you haven't gone on the National website and updated your information there in a while, I kind of suggest you do, just to make sure your phone numbers are still valid, make sure your email address on there is still valid if you have an email address. Like I said, I just want to make sure I'm trying to be as transparent and get as much information out to people as possible. And I understand with a post as large as we are, it's kind of difficult, making sure everybody's informed of everything with over 1,000 members. But that's what we're working towards. So as you know, we recently had our elections. We're going to have an orientation meeting for the new officers and board members and holding court people, just to kind of give them an idea of what's going to be expected of them. That's going to take place sometime in July, sometime in the middle of July, probably the 15th or 16th. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do either by Zoom or like an in-person meeting. We're trying to figure out how we want to do that. So if you were elected to an officer position or a board position or a holding corporation position, just be expecting somebody to reach out to you in the next week or so to kind of set that up and kind of figure out when it's going to work. So we're also planning on having an open mic session tonight. That's basically going to be when most of you are going to be raising your hands and everything like that. If you got questions, if you want to know how things are going, if you got a question about a certain topic, that's going to be a good time to ask that. because we have a lot of people on here and if a lot of people want to talk, I'm going to kind of ask that everybody keep their questions or comments down to like a 2-minute time limit, just so we can try to get everybody who has a question or a comment, make sure they have time to go ahead and get their question or comment heard. I just want to remind everybody that all members are welcome to email me at commanderpost435@gmail.com. Again, that's commanderpost435@gmail.com. Email me there, ask your question. If it's a question I can't answer, I will forward it on to the right person to answer it. Or if it's something that needs action, I will forward it on to the right person and make sure that action gets taken. You can also call the Post 24/7. We have a live agenda answering service going on. Kind of gives you Post information like, hey, the next meeting is on this date, so-and-so, or, if you got any questions, email here, call here, whatever. Again, if you want to raise your hand to ask questions during that open mic time, it's *9, or if you go down to the more part of your screen there's an option there to raise hand as well. Guests tonight, we got Jake, who's our tech guru. He's going to be helping me through this. He just actually told me we got 90 people on tonight. That's amazing. Thanks everybody for logging in. Another guest that we have Teresa Ash, who's from the department level, the state level there. She's the vice commander for the 4th and 5th districts for the department. So welcome to our guests. We'll move on now. So let's get started here. We emailed out an agenda and materials prior to this meeting taking place over a week ago now. Included in there, we have profits and loss statements and that kind of stuff like that for financial issues. Basically, when it comes to that, the long and short of it is we're still about approximately $200,000 in debt. That comes back to vendor debt, that's taxes, that's utility bills and everything like that. I will go over our plan for that shortly here. So July 1st is when the new Legion year starts. It's going to be an interesting year for Post 435. I'm going to be doing my best. My focus is to encourage membership participation. And to do that, we're going to focus on new ways. It gets back to making sure information is pushed out via email, social media, however, just to make sure people have the information in hand in order to vote the way they want to vote, and just to make sure people are informed and to just keep things transparent and make sure everybody's included going forward. Like I said, it's going to be an important year for Post 435. We got some important decisions to make, some frankly tough decisions, but heck, with 90 people on this call tonight, I think that's a good start. I think that's a good thing. We're showing we got members participating now, more so than they have in the recent past. I think that's a really good thing. That's a really good first step with the new Legion year starting. So we have new officers that are going to be sitting as of tonight, technically. Obviously, with the COVID and everything like that and all those concerns, we didn't necessarily have a installation ceremony. I think everybody can kind of understand why we had to put that off, just for everybody's safety and everything like that. I want to thank the outgoing board members and officers from this last year. Tom Eckhoff is the finance officer. He's the outgoing finance officer. We had Terry Anson on the board. He's outgoing as well. He's also handling our membership. So all the cards and stuff you get in the mail, your membership cards, that's Terry. Chuck Munson, another board member who's on his way out. Again, thanks to all three of them for their hard work over the year. It's been a tough year this last year, and I appreciate them and all they did. And also thank you to Curtis Woods, who was our adjutant for this last year. Curtis is not going to be going on as the adjutant in the new Legion year. So thanks to him for all the hard work he did. With that in mind, since the adjutant, and that's one of the appointed positions, I'll be accepting nominations for the positions like the adjutant, chaplain, and so on for this next year. So if you're interested in that, please go ahead and reach out to commanderpost435@gmail.com and let me know if you're interested in that. And then I can make those appointments as they come up. So So the first agenda item, I mentioned this earlier here, and I heard some people asking about it when the meeting first got started as people were dialing in. I want to basically ask the membership to ratify or accept or approve the election results. We don't technically have to do this according to the bylaws. There's nothing that says we have to do it. However, because this year was so different and we had to adjust how we did things with COVID and everything like that, just to keep everybody safe, in the sake of transparency and the sake of, just being transparent, make sure everybody has a voice here. I just wanted the membership to approve the election results as a matter of record. So with that said, can I please have a motion to ratify the election results? In order to do that, like I said, if you're on a phone, go ahead and do a *9. Or if you're on an iPad or smartphone, go ahead and just do a more and raise your hand. And then Jake, can you let me know if somebody go ahead and does that motion or someone raising their hand right now to do that?
Yes, sir. We have John Diedrich put in the chat. He moved, and Mike Wolbrink seconded that motion.
Commander.
Okay. Hold on one sec. Hold on. So I'm sorry. Can just for record, can we get those names one more time?
John Diedrich moved, and Mike Wolbrink seconded.
Okay. So John Diedrich, if you can go ahead, if you can just unmute John for a second here. John, I just want to hold on one second. John, I just want you to go ahead and confirm that you're making that motion. John, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, John.
Okay, I move that we confirm the voting as indicated.
Okay, thank you. So we got a motion to accept as and then so we had a second from who again? I'm sorry, Jake.
Mike
This
Wolbrink.
is Mike Wolbrink, and I second the motion.
Okay, sounds good. So we got a motion. We have a second. Let's just go ahead. So Jake, if you go ahead and clear out all of the, hold on. Jake, if you can go ahead and please clear out all the raised hands real quick.
Okay.
Let's just get everybody muted again real quick just so we can get through this.
Yeah, we'll have another chance. For anybody who wants to speak, we'll have another chance for that. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hands.
Cool.
Point of order.
Hold on one second here. I'm calling the vote here.
Point of order comes before the vote.
Yeah, I'm calling the vote here. Hold on one sec. Okay, go ahead.
Commander,
Yep. Who is this?
this is Jim Munson.
Hi, Jim.
I realize that there was a lot of effort put forth in this ballot making and everything, but it was in violation of standing rules and also the bylaws, Article 5, Section 5, Number 1. The reason why I say that is that there are laws and rules that we have that people that are voting, people that are running for first and second vice have to have attended the Legion College or the Legion Institute. And that also, number 2 was concerning the national delegates. And I'll refer to that later when you refer to that.
Fair enough.
But right now, I feel that there is a violation of the election by people that weren't eligible to run for first and second. Nothing personal against them.
Yeah, Jim, and I can appreciate that. I appreciate your comments. But we still have a motion here before the membership. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and call that vote here. So Jake, if everybody's cleared out.
1 second. I'll do
Okay.
that again. Okay, everyone is
Commander.
clear. Don't press your keypads yet.
Okay. So as of right now, if you are in favor of the motion on the floor to accept the election results, please go ahead and signify that by raising your hand. That's the *9, or the more and raising your hand. You want to do that now, Jake? You want to let me know when all those are done?
Okay, yes, please give me a minute. Yep.
Yep, no problem.
Hey, that star 9 doesn't work on my computer.
Okay, so I get on your computer there. Are you on the Zoom app? Or like the Zoom program? So there should be a more function kind of around where it says like participants, start video, mute, and all that kind of stuff. Are you seeing that?
Oh, raise hand. Got it.
Yep, there you go.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Commander,
Hold on one sec. I want to get Jake here a chance to do his thing.
How about the reaction button? It has a thumbs up.
And now down
That
below
one?
that, there should be a raise hand option.
Yeah, the reaction one will not work.
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me here.
Okay, so I've one, two.
Mulder, she
as
Give me
a
like
judge
one more
advocate,
minute.
this is not a proper vote.
All right, Jake, if you got that done.
Do I need to be able to tell? I've taken a screenshot of everybody who raised their hand.
Yep.
Do I need to be able to say if it's a majority or not?
Well, I think if we got the call here, yeah. If you have the amount of people, and then so just clear that out.
Oh, hold on one second. I need to, I've taken the screenshot. I just need to count. So
Okay,
give
no
me
problem.
a little bit longer.
Bear with us, guys.
Point of objection, Commander. I'd like to say my piece.
Is that Jim again?
Yep.
Yeah, Jim, you did say your piece. And
Well, I guess I'm just questioning as the judge advocate that this election isn't legal. So why have it?
I wholeheartedly disagree, but that's why I'm putting it before the general membership here.
We'll have them read the bylaws then.
They have the opportunity to read the bylaws on our website. I'm putting it before the membership. So,
All right, so
Jim, okay, go ahead.
this is Jake. So 54 members rose their hand for this.
Okay.
And that means that
want to
41 did not.
Okay, so now, so we got, 54 in favor. And then, so now if we can clear that out again, Jake, and all those opposed. So Jake, is that cleared out?
1 second.
Yep.
Okay, now it is clear.
Okay, now all those opposed to the motion, do so signify that by raising your hand. Do that star 9 or then the raise your hand. Hold on 1 sec here. I want to get Jake a chance to do what he's need to do here.
Sorry, 1 second, guys. I'm trying to help my dad.
Don't worry.
I'm sorry, who's this?
I'm muted.
Dad run.
Troubles here.
Hold on.
I'm opposing this vote right
Hold on.
now.
I can't hear. I got multiple people talking here. I heard a female voice. I don't know who that was.
Adam, that was my dog. He's trying to get this in.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay,
I'm opposing the vote right now. You never allowed a discussion on the motion. There was no discussion allowed on the motion.
Recall
the motion and have a discussion.
Chuck, you're breaking up here. I don't know if it's just for me or whatever, but I'm holding all the comments now until after the vote's complete.
All right, just an update. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 votes.
Opposed.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and certify that that the motion was passed to accept the election results. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your patience with this. Second agenda item we had on here, we have executive board minutes from the May 8th meeting. I just want to make a correction then to the meeting minutes for this.
Commander?
Hold on 1 second here, that the stuff that was sent out, it said there was an executive board meeting on June 17th, 2020. There wasn't an executive board meeting on June 17th. It was June 16th. I just want to have that noted in the minutes here.
Well,
At that
Can you hear
point,
me?
who's this again?
Hello,
Yeah, who's this?
this is Greg Grant.
Yes, sir.
Did you receive an email and a certified letter in the last 2 days, Adam?
Yes, I will, and I'll be addressing that shortly.
Would you read those aloud at this time before you go any farther?
Greg Grant, you're
Because you know what? You received. No, I am not. You received the letters from the e-board.
Jake, will you please mute Greg Grant, please? You're out of order. The chair does not recognize you at this point. You will have an opportunity to speak later.
There we go.
All right, so the second agenda item here, we had to approve the executive board minutes from the May 8th executive board meeting and the June 16th executive board meeting. At these meetings, the financials, the posts, and the IRS taxes were submitted and presented for the record at each one of those. Our financials and our IRS.
Oh, hold on, Adam, we lost you. Adam, are you there?
Yes, I'm still
I
here.
don't know, but I believe those letters need to be read aloud.
Yep.
Whoever's talking besides
I will read
Adam,
those shortly here. Yes.
yeah,
Yep,
please
I'm right
stop
here.
and wait for your turn. If you're not Adam, please just wait.
Again, so if I could please have a motion, so let's go ahead and clear out all the raised hands again. Can I please have a motion to accept the executive board minutes from the May 8th and June 16th meetings? Again, which the financials and IRS taxes were submitted. The taxes, again, were put up by our post CPA firm of Mark Will and Lewis. Jake, do I have a motion? Or I'm sorry, do I have somebody with a motion?
All right, we've got some hands raised.
Okay.
Let's see. So phone numbers, last four is 7172. I'm unmuting you. Would you acknowledge that you motioned for this?
Yes, this is Sean Reagan with that 7172, and I bring that motion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a second, please?
All right, phone number 5796. I'm unmuting you.
This is Mike Hewitt, Gunnery Sergeant, United States Marine Corps, Executive Officer of the Gun Club, and the current Vice Commander, and I also second that motion.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Again, all those financial documents that were sent out in the email that was announcing this meeting, just so you can have those for your review. So we'll go ahead and just get a vote on that. So again, Jake, if you can clear everybody out.
Okay, lower all hands. All right, it's clear.
Okay, so if you are in favor of accepting the motion as tabled, please signify by raising your hand, hitting *9, or doing the raise your hand option.
Okay. And should I do the same thing with the count?
Same thing, yep, same thing. Okay, and Jake, if you can clear that out when you're done, if you can do a quick tally as well, please.
Okay, I just got done with the photos. I will tally.
Yep.
A few more. Okay. 51.
51. All right, thank you. So go ahead and clear that out.
Okay, it's cleared.
All right, and if you are opposed to the motion that's on the table, please signify so by raising your hand, hitting that *9, or do the raise your hand option.
Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, thanks, Jake.
You're welcome.
All right, so with the vote here, I'm gonna go ahead and declare that motion passed. Bear with me here. I gotta hit the wrong button. Okay, so with those two items of housekeeping out of the way there, we're gonna start going into, I'm sorry, I just wanted to give some more information here to share. The Post is pursuing a SBA loan up to $300,000. That's not saying it's going to be $300,000 by any stretch of the imagination, but that's what could it be up to help alleviate some of that debt going forward. So we are looking into that. We are also looking at the possibility of reopening somehow this summer on a limited basis. Again, I just wanted to reiterate, though, our debt owed is approximately $200K to vendors in property taxes, utilities, all that stuff. It costs approximately $6,500 a month minimum just to maintain the power to the building, the water, the gas, and everything like that. Insurance and maintenance costs are not included in that amount. At the July e-board meeting, the board's going to start really digging into those options and seeing what's actually realistic. And of course, before any loan is requested or anything like that, it's going to come before the membership. And the membership will have to approve that. That's not something that myself or the board just willy-nilly going to go ahead and sign off on. I want to make sure that the membership's comfortable with that and make sure that the membership is aware that there's a plan in place and so on and so forth, so they can have their say in that. So before we go into the open mic period here, I received an email yesterday, June 29th, it came from Thomas Eckhoff, who is the outgoing finance officer. He claimed to be representing the executive board, stating that they are seeking to remove me from my position as commander. I'm going to go ahead and read that email right now so everybody's up to date. Adam, this email is to inform you that the executive board of American Legion Post 435 is taking action to remove you as commander of Post 435. On June 17th, an e-board meeting was held at the Post. The board members voted not to accept the recent election results, and the e-board also voted to remove you from office. Notification is forthcoming via registered mail. Like I said, the email was sent by former finance officer Tom Eckhoff. He sent it to the entire executive board himself, as well as Teresa Ash, the vice commander at the department level for the for the 4th and 5th district. At that point, I had not received any kind of registered mail regarding that. Today, I did receive a letter in the mail. I'll go ahead and read that to you right now, just so everybody's aware. Dated June 29, 2020, Mr. Adam Siemens, my address. Adam Siemens, you are being removed as commander of Post 435 by a 2/3 vote of the executive board. And they gave the date of June 17th, 2020, and they gave it 1900 hours. While in action of this removal, all duties are suspended from your office according to the Constitution and bylaws of Post 435, Section 3, Part 5. Please surrender your keys to Diane Miller, Controller. Sincerely, the Executive Board, American Legion Post 435, Richfield, Minnesota. So, like I said, that was sent to me. I don't know who sent it to me exactly. It's from the e-board. It didn't come from the adjutant, but we won't get into that. So at first here, I want to ask a member of the executive board or somebody who was in on that meeting. go ahead and speak on it, if you could raise your hand. If Tom Eckhoff's on the call, Chuck Munson, if they want to give their comments and discussion on that. If anybody wants to discuss, please raise your hand digitally here with that *9 or the raise your hand option. And Jake will let you know when your mic is unmuted.
Okay, Chuck, go ahead. You have the floor. Oh, sorry. 1 second, Chuck. Okay, now you should be able to talk, Chuck.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Chuck.
Adam, I'll say a few things. Number one, you never allowed a discussion.
Chuck, your
motion.
audio is
You
very
are in
distorted. Chuck, I don't know if I'm the only
Shut up.
one who's hearing
You
this.
are in violation of Robert's Rules of Order. Robert, hey, Adam, you are in violation.
Hey,
We,
Jake,
as the
Jake,
board,
can you go ahead and mute him here?
have the right.
His audio is messed up.
Okay, Chuck,
Chuck, I'm
1 second.
sorry, but you were very distorted there, Chuck. I couldn't hear you, and
We couldn't
I
hear
got
you.
like every third word. So, is anybody else?
Can anybody speak to what Chuck was going to say who might have better reception?
If so, please raise your hand.
Adam,
0. Phone number
Okay.
ends in 3026. I'm
3026.
unmuting you now. All right, go ahead.
This is Greg. This is Greg Grant of the E-Board. And yes, Adam, you were sent that letter. And yes, 2/3 of the board would vote to have you removed. Upon that letter, Steve, receiving that letter and that email, you no longer have the authority to act as commander until such time that you bring it before everybody, which I'm not sure how that works. I could guess Teresa Ash could answer those questions.
Okay.
I am going to have to agree with the fact that once you receive that letter and everything else before this meeting even started today, this should have been brought up because you went ahead to pass stuff through on a slick way, and that's not the way things work within the Legion.
Okay. Greg, I appreciate your comments here. I feel that was a good summary of the opinions of the board members, both current and former, who sent that letter. Once I got that email and the letter, I reached out to our post attorney, Dennis, who has worked with the post for some various legal issues in the past. And I asked Dennis what his input was, and he reached out to a colleague named Travis Oley, who's another attorney who specializes in corporate law and specifically dealing with bylaws. I'm going to go ahead, and I got Travis on the call right now. Again, Travis is an attorney. He's a post attorney that we have here. Travis, if you could please raise your hand, and then Jake can go ahead and unmute you. We can get going here, and Travis can give his take on the letter and the email and everything like that. Jake, is Travis raising his hand?
I don't see a Travis.
It might be a phone number here. Might just be a phone number.
Okay, I think I have Travis's phone number. Let me see if I can search him.
Okay.
I'm thinking if you look under the bylaws, Adam, if I'm not mistaken, it's 5.3.
Yep. Hey, Greg, I hear you. Right now I'm recognizing a guest here, Travis, to speak. You'll get a chance during the open mic to speak further.
All right, Travis.
Adam, this is Travis Oley speaking.
Hi, Travis.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, so at the request of the Legion's controller, I took a look at the bylaws and the standing rules, specifically with regard to this question, the question of the removal of a commander. And while the distinguished gentleman who spoke about the E-Committee is correct, that 2/3 of the E-Committee could vote to remove a commander or any other officer for that matter. What I struggle with is the fact that it doesn't appear that any notice of this vote was given, or at least it wasn't given to all of the E committee members nor the commander. So I understand that email that you received, Adam, probably came as a surprise, since you, I presume, adjourned the E meeting on June 16th.
Correct. Yep.
Yep. So the standing rules do require that no shorter than 2 days notice be given of any such meeting. So if there was going to be an E committee meeting to vote on your removal, that would have needed to be noticed at minimum 2 days ahead of time, and provided to all the E committee members and to yourself. I have not seen any minutes to suggest that occurred, and in fact, I think the opposite is true. I don't believe there is any mention of this meeting in the E committee minutes.
Thank you, Travis. I can confer. I'm sorry. I can confirm with what Travis said here. We did hold the E-board meeting on the 16th. There was no meeting scheduled for the 17th. No notice was given to me or executive board member Mark Partel, the past commander. He was never informed that there was going to be a meeting on the 17th. So Travis is correct in that regard. With that said, I do not believe the bylaws then were followed in order to remove me. So I'm treating the letter as invalid. For one, they did not inform the entire executive board that they were having that meeting. And two, according to our bylaws, they're supposed to go through the adjutant. The adjutant's supposed to give out notice.
Okay.
So in other words, hold on, Greg. Hold on. So Travis, is my understanding correct in that regard?
Yeah. Yes. That's the correct process for holding an E meeting, special or otherwise. Four members could call and demand that, but they would have to demand that of you, that you set on the meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate that. I appreciate your input on this. So like I said before, bearing that in mind with the legal counsel, I do not see this attempt to remove me as legitimate. It wasn't an official executive board meeting, nor was it given notice of that, and they did not go through the adjutant to confirm that particular vote, provided no minutes or anything like that. So I am not treating that as valid, and I do not intend to accept it as valid, and I'm going to go ahead and continue my duties as post commander. With that being said, now we're going to open it up to the open mic process. Like I discussed earlier,
Adam, I'm going to ask you a question.
Hold on. Yep, Greg, the open mic process is coming. You will get a chance for that. This is going to be a long process. So I'm going to ask now, with Robert's Rules of Orders, to keep comments. So again, everybody has a chance to be heard, their opinions, their questions, what have you. I'm going to ask you to keep your comments or questions to a 2-minute timeline. I'm sorry, to 2 minutes to either get those comments out there and hopefully get those questions answered. So go ahead. We're going to open mic. If you have a question or a comment, please go ahead and signify so by raising your hand. And then Jake will let me know.
All right, I'm going to go ahead.
Greg, you can go ahead and start because I know you've been waiting.
Okay, I listened to what your attorney had to say, who I don't believe understands the whole process, but that's between myself and what I think. But the other part of this that I don't understand is if you can break violate the bylaws for an election, that it doesn't make it right either way, because the bylaws were not done right with this election. You've got people that have not been on the board that run for vice commander and second vice commander. They need to be on the board for 1 year. Some of this stuff I have looked up, so it tells me that you're playing Peter to play Paul. And I think that the whole Legion, the membership and everybody needs to know the facts here. It's okay that if you do something, you can go against the bylaws. It's not okay for anybody else to speak up. So I think that there's a catch-22 here that I would really like an explanation for, and I'm sure other people would.
Okay, Greg, I appreciate your question here, and I will give you an answer here. I do not feel that I violated the bylaws. We've talked about this at our meetings before. I know what motions I know what articles you're talking about. I can address one, the search and nominating committee. I did put out a call for members for volunteers to be part of that search and nominating committee. No one came forward and put their name forward to be on the committee, and that's when I opened it up to anybody who's interested in running for office to either contact me or the controller to put their name forward, and I added them all to the ballot. Another point, when you talk about how somebody has to be a member of the board in order to, the bylaws specifically mention the executive committee and the property and finance committee, neither of which exist anymore. It's a single entity now called the executive board. So it's really unrealistic, I believe, to have somebody, you have to be on the executive committee in order to be an officer, yet that executive committee doesn't exist anymore. Or you have to be on the property finance committee in order to be the finance officer, but that property and finance committee doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, my belief is that the 1 year term or the 2.
Greg, I'm not done right now. So with that being said, again, I consulted the Post legal counsel on this and got a legal opinion, and I'm going to follow that legal opinion in moving forward. So I appreciate your question and I appreciate your concerns, but I'm gonna yield to legal counsel on this, and that's how I'm moving forward. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and next person who wants to raise their hand and have a question or comment, go ahead.
Okay, Lynn has had her hand up for a while, so I'm going to unmute Lynn.
All right.
Let's see if this is working. Okay, Lynn, can you talk and make sure we can hear you?
I can talk.
All right,
Can you
here
hear
we
me?
go. We can hear you.
Okay. So the questions that I have, you pushed forward for a vote, and I don't think everybody has the full picture, including the lawyer. How can you give a lawyer minutes that are half of the minutes? They're not full, they're not accurate minutes, and have a lawyer make a decision on those. What's not the reason the e-board did not accept your financial report is because you are opening our Post and selling our equipment, but you're not reporting to us how much you sold our equipment and what you turned around and did with that money. You're also telling us it costs $6,000 a month for utility bills when I'm looking at a report from the bookkeeper who says as of December 30th, of 2019, all of our utilities were paid up current. How are we paying $6,500 a month for a closed building? There's no water, there's no lights, there's no, I mean, I understand about frozen pipes. You want some heat in there, but what you're not telling us is unsurmountable. You're not telling anybody. The minutes from the board members rejected the election because the bylaws were not followed, and it is more bylaws. They were all listed out.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than the search and nominating committee. Nobody verified these people. How long have these people even been there? All of this needed to be verified, and it wasn't.
Lynn, your
my
2 minutes
2 minutes is up?
Yep,
Okay,
your 2
well,
minutes
thank
are
you.
up. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate your comments. Jake, anybody else who's raising their hand?
All right, we have 5843. I'm unmuting you. You should be able to talk.
Yes, this is Scott Garrett. I'm currently the treasurer of the Gun Club board, and I'm just now on the finance committee. I have a question, Adam.
Okay.
Can you tell me what was the net income for year end? So as of, what is it, May 31st?
You're talking December 31st?
Well, all right, for December 31st, whatever the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah, I do not have that document in front of me right now. I would have to defer to our controller or our finance officer to answer that question for you. I will defer to them and I will get that information and I will get that to you as soon as I can. Because again, I don't have the document in front of me.
Well, it's a negative number. Okay,
yes,
so
I can tell you right now, it's going to be a very substantial negative number.
So let's be clear, and to the membership, let's be clear. The people who are arguing these points have gotten us to a negative number, and that negative number is large. I'm an accountant. I've been an accountant for over 20 years, and I can tell you that when you look at an income statement and you see a negative number at the bottom, that's bad. And whatever you're doing in the middle, that's wrong. They've done wrong. They haven't helped us. They haven't helped us in the least. And I'm offended that they have the audacity to stand up and try and put themselves ahead. It blows my mind that anybody is listening. Really. We're it doesn't matter. It's just really, yeah, I'm frustrated. And admittedly, I haven't been very involved. You can bet I'm involved now. You guys are we're trying to save the Post here. We're trying to save it. You're trying to sink it. And so just stop.
Scott,
I yield whatever time I have left. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate your comments. All right. Jake, I'm sorry. Is there anybody else with their hand up?
We have phone number ending 0441. I'm unmuting you.
0441.
I'm pretty sure.
If you need, we'll figure out
All right, she must not be paying attention.
Okay, fair enough. Yep.
So I'll go to 5843. Whoever phone number is that, I am unmuting you now. 5843. All right, 5843, are you there? Okay, I'll mute that number. I'll go to the next. 7221. Unmuting you.
Hi, my name is Mike Gillen, and I've got a question or comments to the executive board. I don't know why they're trying to remove Adam and the other members that were voted in on this vote that we had last month. These are people that have stepped up to fill empty positions that they're having a hell of a time trying to fill. Just because they don't have the experience that the executive board wants the people to have to fill those positions, at least these people are stepping up. They're willing to help this post try to continue, even though they don't have the experience. These are kind of extraordinary times the Post is going through right now, and I think we're going to have to bend a few rules around to allow some of these people to help this Post continue on the path that we would like to have this Post follow. That's the end of my comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to address one thing here. So for this coming Legion year, one of my goals, and I'll lay this out in another email to the membership, and I'm going to go through it with the newly seated board. Our bylaws, they need to be updated. They do not accurately reflect the structure of our posts anymore. For better or worse, I don't know. Some of it happened before I got here. So that's going to be one of my goals for this coming year, is to fix our bylaws and actually make them reflect what's going on. So that's where we're going. Okay, Jake, go ahead. Next caller, or next caller.
All right, phone number 3729. I'm unmuting you now. 3729 if your phone number ends in
Hey
that.
guys, this is Andy Keller. I just want to say everybody needs to keep in mind that we're just trying to save the club. There doesn't need to be so much hostility towards how to get there.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that.
Awesome. All right, then we have 6885. I'm gonna unmute you. 6885, you're good to talk.
Hey, everybody, this is Don Rhodes. I'm new on the delegate and the executive committee board. And hey, Jim, I've been through all the training, so you can take me off your hit list. I've been active in all the meetings, and I've done countless hours of volunteer work for the Legion. I'm here to support the Legion. I'm here to support the board. I'm not here to dismantle anything. I'm just here to help. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Don. I think we can all appreciate that. And I can personally attest that, yeah, you volunteer quite a bit for this post. So thank you for that.
All right, we have 7172. You can go ahead.
Hey, my name is Sean Reagan. I'm a Marine Corps and an Army veteran. I'm a member of the Gun Club and obviously a member of the Post. And Commander, I appreciate what you're doing. You guys have put a lot of time into this, and I just want to echo the same concerns that you people that are contesting this, these are extraordinary times, and we all need to be a little conscious of that. I truly believe that this vote's going to stand. And actually, I'm going to offer to you, Adam, I have a corporate attorney who is also a veteran that is willing to help us with any legal defense we need and make sure this happens. We're all in extraordinary times. We all need to take a breath here and remember that these people are trying to save this post. We cannot keep going on the way we have. So thank you for your efforts.
Thank you. And if you could reach out to me at commanderpost435@gmail.com, and we can speak further on that, just so I can get that contact information, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Next we have Don. I'll go ahead and unmute you. 1 second. Let's see. Okay, Don, you should be able to talk now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Deacon Don. Yep.
Okay. All I got to say is I've been here since way back in the 70s. And throughout them years, this club was run, that people run off with money about 4 times. And recently, they put the same people running, the woman ran off with all the money from the pull tabs. It seems like they didn't learn nothing with all that stuff going on. And that old building is just an old shipwreck rat hole that's just the way it is. And there's no use pouring more money into that old wreck for nothing. You're just wasting your time, wasting your money. So the Post is going to always live.
Correct, yeah.
And forget about the building, because the Post does more things, than have 10 guys come down there every day and sit there and drink beer. That's it. And don't make any money. So I support the commander, I support the board, but quit hanging on to that old shit wreck and get rid of it and get something else. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, next. We have, we already calling this person, 3026.
3026, I mean, if they may have got their issue sorted out, so let's give them another chance.
Okay. All right, 3026, go ahead.
Okay, Adam. I can agree with a lot of statements made. Yeah, we would like to save the Post. That's what's on the e-board's mind too. But some people need to realize I've only been on the e-board for a year. So number one, I'm not willing to take blame for what happened for 5, 10, 15 years before that, a money loss. Although I do know that a lot of money walked out of that place in managers' hands, bartenders' hands, everybody else's. And I asked a question a year ago. Why is it that when they know when somebody's doing something, there's never a prosecution to make people aware that we're not going to tolerate that as a Legion post? I never was answered on that question. Another question I have is for the man that said he's a finance person, who said that it's all the board's fault of how this club is. Number one, no, it's not all the board's fault, because a lot of us weren't there. We're new, and we're working to try to save the club too. And I think that that needs to be acknowledged. It's not us against you. It's us against the fact that nothing gets followed through. Bylaws don't get followed. Business doesn't get followed. Absolutely nothing.
Right.
And, you know, with that.
Greg, I can appreciate that, man. We're all trying to pull together here. I don't think anybody's arguing that. We obviously have some very strong disagreements in how we want to accomplish this. Obviously, there's been some disagreements tonight, but we all want what's best for the post. But we keep getting hung up about the past. That's not going to save this post. We need to look to the future. We can't dwell on what happened a year, 2, 3 years ago. That we can't change any of that. We need to start pulling together on the oars and get this ship moving forward. Moving forward. All right. Thank you, Greg.
All right. 0214. I'm unmuting you now.
Yeah, my name's Daryl Armbruster, and I totally agree with what Don's comments were prior to this. I have been around for a while, and I've watched things happen and nothing being done. And I don't know the present executive board, but things need to change. And I haven't seen things changing. This emergency that we have now is something that needs to be dealt with and dealt with intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Adam?
Who's
Chuck
this?
Munson here.
Okay, Chuck, yep, I can hear you better now.
Okay, several things.
You got 2 minutes, Chuck.
Earlier tonight, about 6:15, 6:30, I logged in.
Yep.
We were having a discussion with 8 people, and when you saw I was logged in, I heard the comment, "Oh shit, we got to get out of here."
Okay.
Now,
well, Chuck,
what was the secret meeting about?
That
And
meeting was
yes.
that meeting was to resolve technical issues to ensure that this call was going to go forward. We wanted to make sure the hands raising portion was good. We wanted to make sure the vote process was good. We wanted to make sure people are able to be muted and unmuted. We were making sure everything was set.
Okay, now, may I finish my comment?
Yes.
You never allowed any discussion on the election. That is in violation of Robert's Rules of Order and in violation of our bylaws. You appointed several committees to look into matters and never brought those committees before the executive board for approval. As stated in the bylaws, the commander must bring all persons that he wants on a committee before the executive board for approval or not. That was never done. You have done so many things that are in total violation of the bylaws. And honestly, I like you as a person and everything else, but I'm going to say one thing, I'm going to make you very pissed off. You got to stop being a cop and be a board member. Put your badge away and start acting like a human.
All right. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate your comments.
Commander.
Who's next?
All right.
Jake.
This, 1 second. We have, who is this on video? All right, I'm just going to go next. Again, if you want to speak, please raise your hand via Zoom or press *9 on your phone. I'm going to go to 7221. Oh, wait, hold on. Jim, 1 second. I got to figure out how to unmute you. All right, 1 second, Mike. Unmute audio. Jim, your thing's giving me trouble.
How about if I?
Oh, there we go. We got you now.
There we go.
Okay, go ahead.
Commander, I'm not taking any of this towards you as personal. I think you're dedicated. I think you're trying to do the right things. But I have 3 items that I think are disputed. I believe that you passed the election of the new officers, but I think the election of the national delegates, we don't have any national delegates. We have endorsements to the district, and the district is assigned so many delegates from the department. In the department, they all go as department delegates. So you don't have any national delegates from the post, elected by the post. Holding corporation. Positions of the holding corporation are elected by the corporation. They're not elected on the ballot. You had down president, secretary, vice president, treasurer. Titles of all real and personal property, post 435, shall be shall be held by the post holding corporation. That's section 7, number G. Entering posts into loans without holding meeting approval is also against it. These bylaws and these special rules, standing rules, I realize are old and they should be updated. I'll be the first to admit that. But at the same time, they were passed by the general membership of post 435 and therefore must be followed. How come it wasn't followed?
Okay, thanks, Jim, for your comments here. Again, I'm not going to get into that. I do believe they were followed. I appreciate your comments here. We had, to all intents and purposes, an inactive holding corporation. And with this election, I believe we fixed it and we can get that back on the right keel here. But thanks for your comments, Jim. I appreciate that.
Wait, one last thing, if I may.
No, Jim, I'm sorry, your 2 minutes are up, man. All right, Jake.
We've got 5796. Go ahead, 5796.
Yeah, this is Mike Hewitt again, the Executive Officer, United States Marine Corps, retired gunnery sergeant, and current Vice Commander of the Legion. And I would just like to kind of speak a little bit towards the, who verified these people comments, and what are, I'm the new Vice Commander. What's my background? Well, my 8 deployments, my 3 combat tours, my multiple other things that I've done to reach out to the community, that's my background. And I'm really kind of ticked that anybody would even want to bring that up. Anyway, I'm done. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next we have 0441. Go ahead, 0441.
Yep, this is Eric Johnson, Sergeant, United States Marine Corps. I just like to say I'm new to the post. I joined for the gun club, and I think it's pretty upsetting that people are pulling rules, regulations when it was an overwhelming vote for our commander, Adam Siemens. And so I know you got problems in your butt hurt, and you want to pull out all the little strings, but it was a majority vote for the commander. And like Mike Hewitt said, he's done his thing. I know he's with the gun club. And for lack of better terms, it's bullshit. We can do a whole new vote 10 times again, and Adam Siemens will be voted in. So pull all your strings. It's a waste of time. We're sick of hearing it. I'm done.
All right, thank you.
Okay, 7221. Go ahead, 7221.
This is Mike Gillen again. I've got a kind of an off question here. I'm a member of the gun club. We haven't had a monthly meeting in over 6 months. And I'm just wondering if something can't be set up on this same type of thing that we're having a meeting tonight, so that the gun club members can conduct some business and get some things settled out.
Yeah, I think that's something we. Go ahead.
Adam, you got my support. I think you're doing the best job available here, and the rest of these members that got voted in on this last vote, like I said, maybe they don't have the correct experience, but at least they stepped up and they're willing to fight for this post. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, and I will reach out to Bob Amon, the president of the gun club, just to we can talk with him about possibly using our Zoom thing so you guys can have meetings too. But like I said, I'll reach out to Bob and hopefully we can get that sorted out.
And Adam, I think we've got some repeats here. Should I keep calling on people?
Who we got? I see Don again.
Yep, Don, Lynn.
Well, I know Don's spoken. I know Lynn's spoken. Let's get to those two numbers first so we can just give them a chance. Okay. I don't remember if they've spoken or not, but I know Lynn and Don have. So
0214. Go ahead if your phone number ends in that.
Yes, I'd like to thank Adam for stepping forward and taking on a job that's insurmountable almost. It's just unbelievable for people to do what they think is right. Also, where were all these super intelligent people in the past? We never heard from any of these people. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, okay. And then 5796. Go ahead.
It's Mike Hewitt again. Nope, I've already spoken my piece on this.
Okay, thank you for saying that.
All right, I got a message here from Matthew Meyer to be recognized. Matt, I'm not seeing your name on. Hold on, let's double check here, Jake, if we can find Matthew Meyer.
All right, Matthew, you should be good to speak.
Oh, there he is. I see him now. Yep.
Oh, actually, give me a second, Matthew. All right. All right, Matthew, maybe, is there a mute button on your end? Could you press unmute on your?
Oh,
there we go.
I did it once. Maybe I double clicked it. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I am a Marine veteran. I am a longtime attorney. I've been practicing for over 25 years in business litigation and business law. And I've been a member of the Legion and in particular the Gun Club for probably, I believe, about 6 years. And unfortunately, I've not been involved in the Legion's activities. And it was sort of surprising to see some of the financial information coming out. I had questions all over the place, which I'm not going to go into here. But from what I've heard tonight, I am heartened to know that Adam is taking the helm in this endeavor, and I don't envy him. It's going to be a hard endeavor, but he has my support, and from now on, I will be more active in Legion and the Gun Club activities, so that we can make sure that we are staying on course and there isn't any kind of issue like we're facing right now. Adam has my full vote of confidence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe we have a new number, 5157. All right, go ahead.
This is Jim Cooper. I've been a member of the Legion of Post 435 for over 35 years. I had a little surgery this morning, so I'm not talking too well. I think that the E-board is trying to do a coup d'etat. I don't like it. The members have voted overwhelmingly, and so we should go with that. Adam's trying to save the club. I have no idea what they're trying to do. they haven't put forth anything I could put my finger on. But I'm right there with you, Adam. No problem at all.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Yep.
Sorry, I unmuted him. I thought he was done. But
okay,
thank
sorry.
you. Thank you for commenting.
All right, we can go back to the repeats now, if
Okay.
there are.
Yeah, we got 3 left. So Lynn, 1 second. Lynn, maybe try, if you're on a computer, unmuting yourself as well. There we go.
I just have a question. I know this has not been publicized. I've repeatedly asked and asked. Our equipment, our furnishings in that building are being sold or given away, and nobody has any knowledge of that. That building and everything in it belongs to the membership. I don't recall ever getting a question about, is it okay if I let my friends come in and take down all the beautiful pictures on the wall? But that's what's happening. People are going in there and staking claim to stuff that is ours as American Legion Post. And I'm wondering if the lawyer would weigh in as to bringing up theft charges, because if we all want to stop the theft that has been happening to this Post business for years, I think that's up to the lawyer. We have a lawyer now that we're paying, so I think he should be the one to address. If you're selling our equipment and you're not telling us, how much you're selling it for or what you're doing with that money, I think that's a question for the lawyer.
Well, fair enough. Thank you, Lynn. I'll just address that real quick here. Yes, there has been certain kitchen equipment that has been sold. We got around 12 grand for some of that. That money has gone back into the paying those utility bills and so forth. Like I said, to keep the water going, to keep power to the building, to keep our insurance, so on and so forth. That's all been documented. The documents are available for whoever wants to see it. Myself or our controller, Diane, would be more than happy to explain to anybody who wants to know. That information's been provided. It's been talked about. So here we are. All right. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Lynn. Jake, who else we got?
All right, we've got Don again.
Don? Yep.
Yeah, just a minute here. You hear me?
Yep, I hear you, Don.
Okay, calm down a little here. But when you look at the whole picture, forget about what happened before. But going forward, I understand we got a new bookkeeper or finance person or whatever it is that they hired, reputable, that looks this whole thing over, and she's holding the money sack. Well, no matter which way she's shaking that sack, we're still $200,000 in debt.
Yep.
Now, just think of that. That's almost $250,000 that we owe people. And we got to figure out some way going forward to pay that off.
Agreed.
I mean, $250,000 that we're looking at. I mean, that's, to me, $100 is a lot of money. $250,000, my God, that is just unbelievable. So that's what we're looking at right now, is we're $200,000 in debt. We owe people money. We ain't got a nickel to our name, and they're pounding on the door. So we got to go forward with a positive way, with Adam leading the charge here. So and his bookkeeper, I don't know what her name is, but maybe I don't mean to call them bookkeepers, but that's what I call all of them, they're bookkeepers. But that's what it is. Shake the sack any way you want. You're in debt. You got no money in your hand. You couldn't even go out and buy yourself a 10-cent ice cream cone if they're selling it for 10 cents. That's it.
So Don, I just want to address that real quick here. My goal for the new e-board that's sitting now, to have discussions, I want a plan in place, a concrete plan saying here are the steps, the actual physical steps we're going to take to get us out from under that. We are currently insolvent, basically, to put it bluntly. I want that plan to be in front of the membership for approval, either at the end of July or the end of August at the latest. So like you said, Don, so we could move forward and get things done, because these days of the bickering back and forth, I'm personally done with them. I know many of you, from your sentiments here, you sound like you're done with them too. But we're gonna need everybody to pull together on this. And like I said, I'm gonna have, I and the board, we're gonna have discussions. We're gonna have a concrete plan to put before the membership at the July meeting or the August meeting at the latest. All right, who's next?
All right, 0441. Go ahead.
Am I on?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Adam Siemens. I'd like to say I voted for you, and this is basically debauchery. But this is debauchery. I have many friends, and they would love a gun club.
Yep.
But you know what we don't need is a bar. My buddies with PTSD don't need to go to a bar and sit around and drink. They need a gun club where they're with their buddies. They're doing what they're good at and running the show. So all I have to say is you're old school, and I've only been here for a couple of years. I'm new school. But a bar is not what we need. A gun club, that helps vet.
Yep, and I agree. And I, as far as I'm concerned, all options are on the table. And ultimately, it's going to be you, the general membership, who's going to decide what course we're going to chart.
I'm a new member, but I can bring many more in. If you want to unvalidate 80% of the vote, have at it. You know, I don't get this bullshit where they're fucking 56.
Hey, let's watch the language here. I appreciate your comments.
Sorry, I am a Marine.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Semper Fi, I was too, or I am. So let's go ahead. I appreciate your comments. Let's go on. Is there anybody else? We got a few more coming up. Jesus. All right.
All right. We got 6885. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Don Rhodes again. Back to Teresa's call. My wife's on the executive board with the auxiliary. She works with Jill Davis, and I'm on the Writers Club too with Sean.
Yep.
A lot of the pictures and stuff that we took out of the post, the auxiliary took their stuff out because they were concerned with the rioting and stuff. If something got burnt, they would have lost everything. And Sean was concerned about keeping mementos and everything else. So that's safe in a locker in storage.
Yep.
So just so if she's concerned about that, it's locked away. It didn't go anywhere. Some of that. Just put that to rest.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, we've got one that just says Galaxy Tab S5E, who raised your hand a minute ago or so.
Hi.
Yep.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Peckham. I've been a member for about 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a member of the gun club also. The thing is that, you got people that are in the gun club, they join the Legion for the gun club, and that's their thing. That's great. I understand that, but I enjoy both. The bar, the dancing, socializing, camaraderie of everybody there. We've got, me and my wife, met a lot of great people there, got good friends there. I would love to see the Legion open up again with a bar, with dancing, socializing, and also keep the gun club going. Whatever it takes, a new building or a new location, whatever. But, I would like to just go forward to have not things as it was before, because I know that costs a great deal of money. But, I would love to have the whole membership involved somehow in moving us forward in a positive way. And that's really all I got to say. Thank you very much, Adam, and everybody else that's on the board currently.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got Samsung SMG920V. Oh, 1 second, actually. If that person, if you're on a computer, all right, go ahead. I think you're good
I
now.
think I'm unmuted here. Jeff Wolfoy, relatively new member, just a couple years, and I was really quite surprised about this meeting. We got all the information on ballots for the elected officials a couple months ago, and everybody put their votes in. And I was actually quite surprised. I had no idea there was so much dissension with the executive board and the people that were elected. And it disturbs me a little bit as a new member. And I guess my question would be, if that election was held and Adam and the other people were voted in the way they were, and tonight that was ratified as we had a vote earlier in the meeting, what happens if the executive board still wants to try to unseat Adam beyond the desires and wishes of the voting public that had elected him? How does this work? I don't quite get it, and I'm really disturbed by this, to be honest with you. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I just want to let everybody know here. It's about 22 hours right now. We've been going for almost an hour and a half. So I'm going to go till about 8:30 here. And we'll call it here because, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love these comments. But I just want to make sure things move forward here and guys have a chance to still enjoy their night. And frankly, I got to go to work tomorrow and I got a pretty big caseload. So that's what we'll go on for now. So let's just keep working through some people here. Jake?
8868. You're open to talk.
Thank you. Tom Eckhoff, past commander, past finance officer. I'm going through some treatment, so my voice is pretty shot too. The exercise is that I like Adam Siemens an awful lot, but Adam Siemens took over the post against all of the bylaws and standing rules. The things that Adam has done, he hasn't consulted his executive committee. If you new members will go and look at the bylaws, you'll understand. And this is not a personal problem between me and Adam. It's a personal problem. Now, I'm a retired person. You got to follow the rules and the bylaws that do exist. And they haven't done that. So the question, what the executive committee wanted to do by removing the commander, it's because of the bylaws that you don't take over by yourself. You got to do this together. The Legion has had its ups and downs, but we've done it together. There are bylaws and standing rules that we have to follow. And that's what all the people that have been on the board, the problem they have is Adam Siemens, the commander, never, ever talked to the board members, myself included. And so how we got to this place where we're at now, the election was illegitimate. That's not just my opinion, it's quite a few people's opinion. It was illegitimate. You new members, where have you been? You guys who've been around a while, all you Marines, Semper Fi, but where have you been in the past? We needed some participation and we weren't getting it. And I don't want to give up my personal thing. I don't want to give up that piece of land. That's a footprint that the American Legion Post 435 has had for 60 years. I want to be a part of this community, be a contributor. I don't want to be selling this property and letting the city build a high rise. That's not what I want, my personal thing. But I don't think that we as members should want that as well. Number one, we're veterans. Number two, we're members of the American Legion, a great fraternal organization or fraternal organization. We've done a lot of good things throughout our history. I want to make sure we keep doing that. And by having dialogue is how we do it. And if you try to avoid the dialogue because you just don't want you don't want to talk about it, that's bad.
Okay,
that's
Tom,
bad.
that's your 2 minutes, Tom. Let's get some other people who want to speak.
Okay. All right. 0441. You're good.
Yeah, I got you, old timer, but we haven't been around long, but we're here now. I've only been here 2 years in this Legion. But last thing I know we need is a fucking bar.
All right, let's chill with the language.
No language, sorry.
Yep.
We don't need a bar. We don't need no dancing. There's plenty of bars where people can go dance. The Legion is a place for warriors, not dancers.
All right.
The Legion.
Yep. I'm going to cut you off there. I got your point, brother. I do. All right. Looks like we got a couple more, and then we can call it a night.
All right, 5796. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Mike Hewitt again, Gunnery Sergeant, United States Marine Corps, Executive Officer of the Gun Club, and current Vice Commander. I'd just like to know, as far as, Tom, I respect you, dude. I know you. I've met you. But, where were you when the money was rolling out the front doors? That's what I want to know. Just curious. The other thing I'd like to kind of know is, this Mrs. Ash, where's she at? She was invited in on this phone call earlier. I haven't heard a peep out of her. Why was she CC'd on some of these earlier emails and stuff? I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully we can save this organization because we need to move forward. We need to think about the veterans of the future, not the veterans of the past. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think, Adam, everybody that has their hand raised has already gotten to speak. It looks like multiple times.
Okay. Well, all right, gents. Like I said here, Don, I appreciate you wanting to Greg, I see you and everything like that. In the interests of time, so we just don't keep going round and round, it's 2027. If I could get a motion to adjourn the meeting, we can go ahead and get on with the rest of our nights. And Post 435 can move forward. So Jake, if I could ask you to go ahead and clear out all the raised hands, if I can get a motion to adjourn, I would appreciate it. By raising your hand again.
So moved.
Okay. Can I get a second for that? Jeez, I got tons of this. All right, looks like we got tons of seconds here. I'm gonna go ahead. It is 2028, 8:28 p.m. I'm going to call it. I'm calling this meeting adjourned. Thank you guys for calling in, and I appreciate your participation. I hope to see you at our meetings in the future. Like I said, hopefully our next meeting will be in person. To those people who are new members to the executive board, the new officers and stuff like that, and the ones who were not up for re-election, please keep an eye out on your emails. I'm going to be attempting to reach out and trying to set up a time where we can meet, hopefully, with the decisions that we have coming forward. I want to meet a couple times before the general membership meets, just so we can have concrete answers and a concrete plan for 435 moving forward that we can present to the general membership. All right, guys, like I said, it's 8:28 p.m., 8:29 now. I'm calling this meeting adjourned.